We don't show prep. So, so he had no idea.
I just barely make it in.
I'm sure you can tell, but we don't show.
I mean, let's put the cards down on the table here.
Miami Hurricanes, yeah. You know the name already. It's Mercy. Ha ha. It's a 6-ring Kane show. Can't forget the name though. Got Jazz, Blue, Vish, and DJ break the game code. Ain't no changing them, ain't no breaking them. Real put alive from the Hard Rock Stadium. Ball 14 for the orange and green. We see the 6-ring champs. It's more than a dream. This is life on the field. Beyond 100 yards, a hurricane that's never still put a damage to your squad. The 6-ring Kane show. The 6-ring Kane show. The 6 Rings Kane show. You know.
What's wrong with us? Seriously.
What's wrong with us? We're Miami Hurricanes fans.
Welcome to the 6 Rings Kane Show, a show dedicated to Miami Hurricane sports, featuring the legendary Larry Bluestein, Jazz Santana, Vish, and Danny Gillette. Let's go Canes.
Welcome back, everybody. Buenas noches. It is officially less than 2 weeks away from, I'm going to put it out there. From the biggest game of the season. As the Miami Hurricanes go 2 games with a take on the Florida Gators next Saturday, August 31st. I think it's a huge game joined here. What's going on? Blue, DJ, Vish, everybody in the house. We got a big one tonight. We got a special one. We got, as if you guys saw it on Twitter, we got El Padrino coming on the show later today. Ethan Skolnick is going to come on and give us his take. So we might as well bring him on every once in a while to make sure that he understands that, we're still part of the 5 Reasons Network. So we'll have him on, and we'll have on the notorious Hoodie Girl. We'll have Mel on as well to give us their season predictions. As if you guys have been watching the shows recently, this is probably the most exciting show of the year, as DJ and Blue give us a really, really depressing record, and then Vish goes all out, and God knows what the hell I'm gonna do. So, yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. But season predictions are here. Next week, obviously, we will preview the big game, the matchup between the Canes and the Gators. But before we even get into predictions, I mentioned a little earlier, right, that this might be the biggest game of the year. And, sometimes people be like, who cares? It's not an ACC game. It's the first game of the season. A lot of things can change. Yeah, exactly, right? That's my whole thing. Like, a lot of things can change. And so you want to get off, I don't want to say firing on all cylinders. Again, it's the first game of the season. But in my mind, this is probably the biggest one. You're going up against what some people like myself would say your biggest rival, and probably one of the biggest rivalries in college football. Unfortunately, they don't play enough. But if they did play every season, it'd probably be the biggest one, because these guys hate each other, man. And there's a lot of players that I know have played high school before together that are on the same teams. But it's a little bit different than Miami FSU. This is Miami, Florida. There's an inherent hate there where you don't see sometimes with the FSU game. So this is a big game. This is a big game for that reason, right? To kind of have one over your in-state rival, kind of show them that this is a year. Look, Mario went all out, right? He went all out in recruiting and everything, and so on and so forth. So to me, this is the biggest game of the season, because if you drop this one, the narrative keeps going, right? Now the narrative starts up again. Miami is no good. This is an overrated team, yada, yada, yada. But if you win, now you got the opposite narrative, right? This is a Miami team that can go 12-0 and go to the playoffs and yada, yada, yada. So my question to you guys is, and I'll start off with you, Vish. you're playing the Florida Gators. Is this the biggest game of the season? How do you see this game? I know it's the first game of the season, but how do you see this game kind of in the overall picture of this season for the Miami Hurricanes?
So funny you should ask that. I did Take 5, which aired this morning, and I had it as third because I did the top 5 games. So I had FSU 1, VT 2, and this 3. And then after that, I had at Louisville and Duke as the 5. So FSU is the biggest game, and you touched on some of the reasons why. It's not a conference game, so the way the playoffs are structured now, premium on winning your conference, this, in that sense, doesn't matter. We're not going to get an at-large bid to the playoffs because they're going to give like 7 SEC teams a bid. So there'll be like a 500 SEC team and a 12-1 ACC team. Like,
So, you mentioned that because I saw something on ESPN that said that you could have as many as 9 SEC teams in the playoffs.
I mean, it won't be that bad, and it can't be because there's automatic bids and stuff. But like so I mean, realistically, if the Canes have to win the ACC, so that automatically makes us less important than some of our more challenging ACC games. And also, like, let's be real, they suck ass, and that does matter because if we blow this game up into something of importance, we've blown out teams in the opening game before that we thought were good that aren't. We know they're not good. So like, I don't want to blow out a proportion. If we lose them, it's not because they're all of a sudden good. It's because we stink. Like, let's be real here. That's a horrible sign. It's not because, oh my God, Florida, wow, shockingly, like this quarterback that can't throw more than 5 yards downfield all of a sudden is good. Come on. So that's why I rated it a little bit lower. Like, I think, FSU, Virginia Tech are better teams than Florida, and those games are conference games. And if you lose home conference games, it's really hard to win the conference then. So that's why I put those two higher. I mean, it's still a big game. I'm not downplaying the rivalry at all because that is, and we could definitely lose to them. Don't get me wrong. Don't think I'm saying to me like that game's in the bag. We could absolutely lose it. But to me, even if let's say we win by 2 touchdowns, it doesn't necessarily mean they might be really bad. They're kind of probably not going to make a bowl game.
Right, so them is that they're playing at the Swamp, right? Like that's like the atmosphere. It's a big SEC football game, big SEC football team, whether they're good or not. Which I agree with you, Vish. I don't think they're good. I think Miami should be able to beat them handily. But I think that if this was a Week 5 game or a Week 6 game, you're talking about a Canes team that will probably mop them, right? Mop the floor with them. But it's game 1, and it's at the Swamp, and it's all these degenerates that are over there and really annoying fans, and that's the biggest thing for me.
I don't think they're very good, and so I wouldn't read too much into it, to be honest.
I get you. DJ, what are your thoughts, man? How do you rank this game, in the overall scheme of things? And I know we'll get into it a lot next week, but just kind of, I put it out there. I said it's the most important game, so I might as well get everybody's take on that.
Number 1, this is the most important game of the year. I mean, I think, Florida is not a good football team, but on the same token, if we come out poorly, it's going to start to raise questions about this is year 3. This is Mario Cristobal's 3rd year. He's recruited very well, and yet they're off to another slow start because we've seen games where they should have won and they ultimately lost. And then we're going to get the same press conference. Oh, we need to be better. We need to execute, blah, blah, blah. Same stuff, different year. I mean, if Miami doesn't blow them out, that's a cause for concern. And so, yes, I do think this is the biggest game of the year because, depending on the result and how we either win or how we lose, it could change the trajectory of the season greatly.
Just for everyone's awareness, I know Blue remembers this. I was in diapers, but I've seen the highlights. Our first national championship we won after losing at Florida 28-3.
I know.
Just dropping it out there. Just dropping it out there.
It's not a national championship level team yet.
Just throwing it out there.
Fair enough.
I still have that bumper sticker that says Florida 28, national champions 3.
Yeah. That's awesome. Blue, what's your take, man?
I don't have one. No, I mean. All
right, good night, everybody.
Yeah. Me and DJ stayed up so late last night, bantering everything around. You're talking about a 500 type of team, but a 500 type of team in the ACC. So the SEC. So that I've been to
I
too
know
many
they've got the
games.
strongest schedule, right? They got the toughest schedule.
Oh yeah, well, top 5 toughest places to be. I've been to Neyland. I've been to LSU. I've been to Gainesville. That's a 7-pointer right there. That's that crowd, crazy ass drunken Gator fans are gonna make life tough. It's gonna be crowded. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be. And listen, I've seen them beat teams at home that they shouldn't have. 3 years ago, they played Alabama, and they had them. They were right there with them all the way, and Alabama was number 1, and that was the Mullins downfall right there. As soon as they lost that, they went down to a steep hill. But I don't know if it's when you're a 500 in Miami too, being a 500 team too. It's funny. I was on a show this morning in Texas, and they had Miami number 10 nationally. And so I was the guest there, and I stayed positive, believe it or not. But, but when you're, outside, and I was trying to make the point, I says, outside of South Florida, the Hurricane fans in Dubuque, Iowa, or Austin, Texas, Miami's still a 500 team. And then they've recruited well, and they've played the portal well, but it hasn't translated on the field yet. So you got to look at reality somewhere along the line. So,
no way, we're not here to look at reality.
No, we have to. And see,
We're
me
not
and
here.
DJ did that last
year. It's not looking at reality today. All right, let's be honest.
All right, I got the schedule up. So
let's see. I have blue in my corner at least.
Show me. All right. Well, show me the 6 losses you're seeing here, because
who's 6 losses?
You said 500.
No,
500 the last 2 years.
Yeah, but the reality is we're not that team anymore. So
well,
yeah, but how many times?
How do you know you're not? You haven't played a game.
Keep hope alive.
All right,
let's
do it. Let's go down this list, because I know we've got. We
talked about this one, obviously.
The Gators, yep.
Then we got a couple of, shouldn't be a problems.
No, should be.
And Ball State is actually one of the worst teams in the MAC too. So in addition to being a MAC team, they're a bad one.
Yeah.
Then at USF, and this is where Blue and I are going to be on opposite sides. This is where it starts to go.
3 trap games in there, brother. 3 trap games.
All right, so we got Virginia Tech at home. That's that weird Friday game. Then
Virginia Tech could be tough. They really.
No, that's a legitimately. That's why I had that number 2 on my list. That's a tough game. Fortunately, it's at home. At Cal, and then a bye. Then at Louisville, FSU, Duke, at Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, at Syracuse.
Trap game.
Blue's got about 7 trap games there.
3
But
trap
anyway,
games, I told you.
That is the schedule we
I'm
will
doing
be
everything I
predicting
can do, to be honest. But
all right, so
they win that first game, and then I'm coming on here and doing my predictions.
I'll type the lies. I'll type the lies are going to be said after that one.
I'm gonna tell you some truths today that you're gonna realize are truths after this. That's where we're going with this. I am full of confidence.
Today,
hopefully somebody clips this for December when we're playing in the Meineke Tire Bowl. And
you better shut your mouth, DJ.
Hey, I'm just realistic. I've drank the Kool-Aid before.
It's not realistic.
This is not Kool-Aid. This is not Kool-Aid.
Calm down. Realistic.
It's not Kool-Aid.
Yeah. In a few minutes, you'll just replace me and DJ with Ethan and Homer Girl.
Thank God they're coming on the show.
And Homer Girl. So yeah.
I think Melissa's going to be more in line with you. I think I might be on an island here, but that's okay. I'm used to it. I will stand in the paint.
That's all right, man. That's all right. That's all right.
DJ, they put us way down on the bottom.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Me and you can form our own show, and then it would.
You want to be on the top? Go to the top.
Are you happy now, DJ? Are you happy?
Yep.
There
you go.
Yep.
All right.
We're going. Me and DJ got the Boston College show next, so hurry up.
Oh boy.
Bill O'Brien.
I don't know. Vish, did you want to do like spreadsheet style, or are we just gonna go off the rip and everybody keep their own record? We'll just keep it.
Yeah. Do you want to walk game by game?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. Let's start with Florida.
Let's do it. DJ, we'll start with you up there, man. Go ahead, negative Nancy.
Win.
Oh, well,
okay.
What happened? What happened?
It's not going to be a blowout, but it'll be a win.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll take it. What do you got, Blue? You got a win here against the Gators?
Last second field goal, Florida wins it 20-17.
Oh, God, Blue, you're killing me.
You're killing me, man. I don't get it.
Place to play, man. Tough place to play.
I don't care.
Yeah, but at some point,
You gotta care.
Yeah, I mean, that does matter in college sports.
Yeah, but at some point, talent's got to override that, and we're so much better than them talent-wise.
Should have been a noon game because of that. That's going to give those yahoos 4 hours to drink.
I know.
They won't even make it into the stadium. They're lightweights.
I'm going to go with a W, man. It's a
There
close
you are.
game. I'm with DJ. I think it's a close game also. But I think it's a close game throughout most of the game, and I think the fourth quarter they kind of, I don't want to say just run off with it, but it's kind of like a 30-21, 28.
Win by 10, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, like a touchdown game. You know what I mean? Something like that. But I think it's a hard fought game the whole way through. What do you got, Vish?
Well, I'm clearly picking Florida based on my previous statements. Yeah, of course.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Comfortable workmanlike win. They suck.
All right. I like it. I
don't need to say anything else. They blow. It's not going to be a tough game.
Florida A&M, I think we can all go down the list here with a W, right?
Wait, we got to break this one down.
Wait.
Wait, hold on. You don't have to actually do this, Blue. How many Florida A&M players can you name off the top of your head?
Starting quarterback Daniel Richardson
Jesus Christ.
from Miami.
Washington, right? Or Carroll City, whatever.
Yeah.
This man, he knows everything.
I knew that was coming. Ed Reed, head coach. Oh no, never mind.
That was a long week for him though. So
Miami's revenge to beat Florida from the 1970 Florida A&M from 1978.
Oh God, that's funny.
That'll be a game though that there's going to be a lot of orange and green in the stands.
Yeah, no, that's one of those de facto half home games.
Timeout. I really need to kind of throw this out there, Vish. This guy's name is awesome. 1 milligram of epinephrine.
Yeah.
That is one hell of a screen name. I love it. UF or woman or girl, guy or girl, I don't know. 1 milligram of epinephrine. UF is definitely the biggest game. UF is a laughing stock. If Miami loses to them, watch recruiting suffer as Mario's rep as a bad coach. You know what? We'll talk about that a little bit because I'm
about to go off on that bullshit, by the way. But anyway. No. I am so sick of that crap that
it's realistic.
We'll see. All right, next.
He's won the Pac-12 and the Rose Bowl. Like, what are we talking about? His team finished 5th one year. He can't coach?
Yeah, no. I think he's fine, but we'll get into that. Ball State in week 3.
Win.
They're not very good. DJ, you got a W here?
Yep, win.
Blue, you got a W here? I'm assuming you do as well, Vish.
Yes.
All right. So do I, obviously. All right. What do we got? What's next?
Hold up. I'm doing a little well, you can keep going, but I'm going to
I can't see the schedule.
Ball State.
No, I'm pulling.
It's
USF next, but I am actually going to on the fly here. Let's see, did that work?
USF trying us earlier this year. At least his coach was saying that they can beat Alabama, they can beat Miami when they come in to play them. So I'm going to that game. I'm going to go to Tampa to watch that game.
Nice.
I'll be there, and I'm going to watch Coach. Cohen? Is it Coach Cohen?
Golish.
I'm sorry, Golish. You're right.
Cohen, Golish, whatever. Russian, Jew, whatever it is.
To get his ass handed to him, I'm going to take Miami on that. Although I think USF is not bad. I think it's
Trap game one.
They're a tough little team, but I think Miami is too much for them. So, what do you got, DJ? You got W?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Blue?
Yep, USF. Miami will win.
Miami wins. All right, Vish, you got a dub.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Virginia Tech, the first actual trap game, I think. This is a really good team. It's a really good football team. They always, look, every time we play them, whether they're good, we're bad, they're bad, it doesn't matter. It's always a tough game. I feel like this is one of those teams that, the matchups somehow, they match up really well with us for some weird reason, even when they're bad, and vice versa. So, again, though, I think
Friday night's funky.
It's a Friday. Yeah, it's a Friday night game. It's a little wonky. I think Miami wins it at the end. I think this is a tough game where Borregales kicks a field goal and they win by maybe 3-6 points, something crazy like that. Because I think Virginia Tech is pretty good. So I know I went and I gave you my already prediction, but DJ, what do you got?
Loss.
You got a loss here? Okay,
Yep.
loss to VTech. Okay, all right.
It's not gonna be easy. I'll just say that.
I'm with you. Blue, what do you got?
Win.
You got to win? Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, baby. I don't even have to say it, Vish. All right, Pin Down. We're getting together for that one. I know you're down. I know you live up there. You're close to the USF area, so we'll get together. We'll hang out, man, for the game. Cal.
Long trip.
Vish, I know you're headed to this game with
with Melissa and I, and then Matt is out there, so we're gonna have a buckets reunion out there.
And then Max, right? I think Max.
Yeah, Max is going. Yeah, so but we're gonna have the buckets crew for the first time since the Final Four.
Sweet. Cal, not a very good team. I know they have a local kid.
Alberto Mendoza, the quarterback.
I mean, they're a borderline bowl team. They're not that bad.
Yeah, I don't know if they're as good this year. I know they lost a lot of guys from that team. Patrick McMorris is one of them who plays for the Dolphins. Pretty damn.
I'm just talking about where they're projected more towards the middle of the ACC, not the bottom. So
true.
And
True.
as Blue said,
They're an ACC.
yeah, these are conference games, man. It's a conference game. This is a
DJ, what do you got though? What do you got?
Win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Win.
Blue, what do you got?
Win.
Dub. All right, I'll take a dub.
I'll say that game is much tougher than the Florida one.
Well, I think that going across the country is also tough for anybody.
Yeah.
Very. Yeah.
It's a tough trip, and again, they're better than people think, because I don't think really anyone watches West Coast football out here, and they're like, yeah, they're actually pretty good. They're not a bad
No more
team.
Pac-12 after dark now.
I know. It's
Louisville in week 8. Now, Louisville to me, I think could end up being a ranked team by this time.
Yep.
So I think you can see a ranked matchup of two top 20 programs, top 25 programs, however you want to see it there. Well coached, right? I think their offense poses a lot of issues for a lot of teams. They also have one of the best pass rushers in the country in Gilad, I think is his name, Gilad or whatever, starts with a G. Really good ball player. This is a good team. Obviously, they put it on us last year as well, and they bring back some of those guys. So I think this one is going to be tough. DJ, what do you got?
Loss.
You got a loss here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Blue, what do you got for this one?
Loss.
All right. I hate to make it 3 in a row, but I'm going to go with an L here. Louisville.
I was actually, this is the one I thought we would lose, and now I'm like, when are the four of us ever agreeing on anything?
I know, isn't that crazy?
You know what? You convinced me. Dub.
Wow.
I had that as a loss. In my head, I had that as a loss. That was like, I'm like, that's going to be the first L, but I cannot unanimous a loss. I will never.
Well, listen, think about it. What happens when like the college football, right? They all give everybody L's. Half the time that team wins, right? You should have just gone with the L. That gives us an automatic W right there.
I cannot have on this show straight L's on any of these games. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
All right.
For the culture, man.
Biggest game of the season. Florida State, top 25 matchup.
You said it was UF at the beginning of the show.
Even after the loss.
By then, it'll be the biggest game.
It turns into the biggest game now, right? You got still 2 top 25 programs, I think. FSU is reeling, though, so this is going to be a tougher game because I don't think they're as good as advertised, but I still think.
I mean, they are picked to win the ACC.
Yeah, but I think they're overrated. So honestly, this year I think they're a little bit overrated. They lost a ton of guys from last year's team. Keon Coleman being one of their best players.
2 big defensive linemen are on the Rams.
Jazz, I remember. You remember. I don't know that everyone else remembers.
Alligator arms ass.
There's way too many inside jokes.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. When you guys got into a fight, I remember that.
We didn't get into a fight. Jazz and I disagreed, and then
we got clipped.
FSU Twitter clipped him and just went in.
Come at me.
You know what that man did against Miami? Nothing.
I want to get FSU famous again. Let's go. DJ, what do you got for this game?
Loss.
Loss? That's your 3 losses for the season. If you go one more, I'm kicking you off this show. Don't
Well, I was looking at the schedule, and I think.
Well, I produced a DJ. I'll still let you in.
Thanks, buddy.
Because I got to make
Appreciate
fun of
you.
you when we go undefeated. So,
All right,
What do you
got?
got for this game?
I'll make sure these are clipped. So
I think
when
they
we
beat
cut this
FSU.
over-
I think so too. I think they bounce back from the Louisville game. This is a different team. Miami bounces back and kicks their ass. Let's go. Boom.
Yeah,
Look
no,
at
we
this
got-
guy. Look at this guy. He's right on the table. Duke.
I was gonna pick the Louisville game, and I couldn't do it now. Now I'm like, I basically got out in front of my skis now, and I'm just going.
Oh, my God. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but you got to pick one, right?
Oh,
Maybe
God,
not.
but look
Maybe
at what's
not.
left.
Yeah, Duke is another team that
I mean, the headline is not the team; it's the
it's
coach.
the Manny Bowl. It's the Manny Diaz Bowl.
Shoot.
If you lose to Manny Diaz, then
Yeah, that would be it. You have to give up your Cuban citizenship if you do. So
you gotta fold the program.
Someone's giving up their Cuban citizenship. Who will it be?
yeah, that's what I said.
You can't lose to that guy. You cannot lose to Manny Diaz. He's gonna have a decent team there, right? Obviously, they've got Malik.
So is everybody, but
Malik,
that's
what's his name? Malik Murphy, right? Malik Brown.
Yeah, it was named the starter today.
Yeah, Malik Murphy, a good quarterback over there. They're probably running pretty decent defense. They've got Coach Simpson, I think, is still out there.
yeah, he's there.
So they've got some decent coaches, but again, at the end of the day, you got to be able to beat Manny and this team. I think Miami does it, but DJ, what do you got?
Yeah, I have a win in this one. I think they should win comfortably, but we'll
All
see.
right. W there. Blue, you got a dub or no?
It's a Calle Ocho Fest over at the place. It's
We got to make a shirt for this one.
As usual, congregating in Miami Gardens as they do. So
Yeah, right? Yeah. Coral
They
game.
win.
South Beach. South
They
Beach.
win.
It's a South Beach game. Give me a
Right,
W
yeah,
for
dub.
Blue. I got a dub for sure.
I'm running out of real estate here, but
Yeah, man.
that Louisville one hurt, but you guys all went L on it.
Oh boy, Georgia Tech over in Atlanta. I'm planning on going to this game. I'm trying to plan
nice.
to go to this game. So maybe Vish. I know Vish is going to a couple games this year, but he might want to take a ride with me to A-Town for this one. But it's against Georgia Tech again.
Take
another
the knee bowl. Take the knee bowl.
We'll be kneeling. We're gonna beat the crap out of them. And be kneeling.
They're gonna
in the
kneel
third
on
quarter.
first down.
Kneel it in the third quarter. That's
Yeah,
gonna
we're
be-
going to be kneeling in the third quarter because we're going to be up by 42 points. Give me DJ. What do you got?
That's a win.
Yes, sir. I like it. Georgia Tech, decent little team. Haynes King over there, quarterback. Blue, what do you got?
Win.
Win.
I mean, at this point, it's done.
Wake Forest, terrible ACC team. Terrible ACC team. Lost their quarterback, lost their wideouts, lost a bunch of talent. Got not much. They look like they're going to be in the bottom of the barrel in the ACC this year. DJ, what do you got?
That's a win. A very easy win, I think.
I like
Honestly.
Blue, what do you got for Wake Forest?
A win.
W. There we go. Give me a W.
All right,
Jesus
at
Christ.
Cuse on Thanksgiving weekend.
Syracuse, up in New York, up in
They're pretty good.
they are pretty good. Kyle McCord at quarterback. You've got a couple pretty good wideouts over there, some transfer linebackers, some transfer safeties, and running backs. So I think they did a really good job in the transfer portal. Can't remember the coach's name, but I know he's a good one. Blue, what's Syracuse's head coach?
Oh, from Ball State. From Bowling Green.
Yeah, I know he's a good one.
I can't think of it. I'll think of it.
Yeah. Anyways, good coach, good program, good team over there. I think what's his name? Is Gatson still playing over there, or did he transfer?
Yeah, he hurt himself last year, so he's back.
All right. So
It's Dino Babers. by the
Yeah,
way.
Dino Babers. That's it.
Dino Babers is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why for some reason I thought he got fired. Anyways,
they got a really good coach, but I didn't know he still works there.
well, that's why, because I thought it was a new guy. I could be wrong. That's Fiorande Gaston Bowl.
I mean, look, we did some minor show prep here to sequence things, but lest you all forget,
Not me.
there was not real show prep. It was a little bit of organization of show prep, but did we bother to look up who the Syracuse coach was? Of course
No.
not.
It was more
DJ
like
and I are the only ones that do show prep.
It was more like at what time is Ethan coming on? That's my show prep. All right.
Oh, yeah, no, we had to put the schedule in there.
Syracuse.
I know. I would have gone to that one too, probably, because I haven't been to the Carrier Dome yet. Maybe I'll go there for basketball though.
That would have been a nice one to go to for sure. It's
We
going
can
to
go
be
for
cold.
we can go for hoops though.
Cold in November up in Syracuse. I think so.
Depends.
Mm.
By the way, we're going. We obviously play in Miami, going to San Francisco, going to upstate New York. It's a trip this year.
There's a lot of travel for Miami this year. Yeah. DJ, what do you got for Syracuse?
I got a win, but it's going to be a close game.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with you. Blue. What do you got?
Ultimate trap game. They'll lose that.
They lose it? All right. There's your third L. All right. Give me it. Give me the dub.
Come on, Vish.
I think it's
I cannot pick us to lose that game.
Okay, so
Louisville was the one I was going to pick.
Vish, did they lose in the ACC championship game to FSU?
No, we're going to play Clemson and win.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna go undefeated, baby.
I mean, you also have us in the ACC championship game pretty much.
You
If all we
see,
do is
I
lose
was
to
right.
Louisville.
I was
If
right.
all-
Fran Brown. Fran Brown is the new Syracuse coach. The guy from Georgia. Boom.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not crazy. Thank you,
I,
CMB.
I literally Googled it and Dino Babers came up. Anyway,
Because he's a homer, Mel. That's why.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
it's because actually I did in my head I had us 11. I had Jazz's picks here, but I can't replicate.
Yeah, sure you can.
No, we go. I'm confident.
All right, so DJ, once again, DJ and Blue have 9-3. Miami going 9-3. I've got.
I mean, they had 7-5 last year, which is where we went.
It's an improvement. It's an improvement. I got them going 11-1. Vish has got them going.
Look, I don't feel great about this. I'm gonna be honest, but
oh my god! Look,
whatever.
On our names when we pop up here, we're gonna have to put our records. So I'm gonna put 11-1 Jazz from now on.
I'll put 9-3.
You got to put 9-3 DJ. Blue's got to put 9-3, and this one's got to go undefeated daddy. That's it, undefeated. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, now that we kind of finish this up before we get Ethan on, if realistically, right? Let's be realistic here, and I'll start off with you, DJ, since you're at the top here. You did go 9-3. Is 9-3 a disappointing year for the Hurricanes this year?
Yes.
Realistically, you think so?
Yes.
Why do you think so?
Because you have a coach in his third season. Granted, you've had a change in offensive systems multiple times, but you also have a very talented quarterback in Cam Ward, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the transfer portal. You have a stout defensive line on that side of the ball in Ruben Bain. You have a ton of edge depth. You have all the pieces, necessary to make a legitimate run at an ACC championship. Now, I'm not going to go out here and say they're going to win it and they're going to go undefeated, but this is the most complete team that Mario Cristobal has had. And, to get, even the 9-3 record, I believe would be a disappointment, but there's just some times when this team loses games that they should win. And, as much as I want them to go undefeated and go to the ACC championship, I don't see it this year.
So I'm going to counter some of that. So
Yeah.
I don't disagree with anything DJ said, but we can't allow the historical imperative to ruin this season. We have the best quarterback in the ACC, as voted by ACC people. We have the best defensive line probably in the country. We're loaded at wide receiver. We're deep at running back. If not now, then when? Are we just going to do this every year and be like, well, it's never going to happen? I mean, I maybe that's your answer. That is an answer. To me, the fact that we've not been reaching our potential was probably a nice way of putting it for the last, 2 decades does not mean that, that's not an impact on this season. We're kind of set up, and DJ, we talked about this when we were kind of looking at the defensive line preview. A lot of talent walking out that door after this year. We're set up to have a big year this year. I expect a downturn after this year. But I think this year we're set up for it. And I don't think, first of all, in terms of home games, if you have a better quarterback than the other team, you really shouldn't be losing home games. And, as much as we thought we were more talented than a lot of teams we've been losing, losing to the inconsistent quarterback play, certainly, Tyler Van Dyke and Haynes King might be similar level on that day. Haynes King was a better quarterback. We lost that game at home. obviously, like playing UNC, I mean, their quarterback's way better. He's going to start in the NFL now. So, like, I mean, now you start looking at our team, like who has a better quarterback than us in this conference. So you kind of expect. I mean, I'm not going to just go in there saying, well, we're Miami, we're going to blow games. To me, that's the opposite of the attitude. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter what we think; it's on the players, but that kind of negativity seeps in, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I just reject that we have to lose games because we're Miami.
Yeah, well, I think I'm actually going to echo that sentiment to a certain, and maybe just kind of say it different. At some point, you got to realize that the whole stigma around Mario Cristobal, for the most part, is kind of crap. It's BS, right? I think he has lost some tough games, and I think that the whole storyline of him not being a good game day coach. Look, listen, he's beat really, really good Ohio State football programs with his backup quarterback. Okay, in a season where Ohio State, maybe should have gone to the national title. Okay, he's won a Rose Bowl. He's won a couple Pac-10 titles. He's obviously one of the best recruits, and we can continue to say that until we're blue in the face. And at some point, you can't do all that, and you can't be where you're at and not eventually be successful. So we can't. And Vish, I kind of agree with you. If not this year, then what? Then when? I mean, you've got every single piece that you need to win the ACC, to make a run at the playoffs, and if this team continues to develop. This team that we have right now continues to develop throughout the season, because you're going to see them getting better and better and better. It can get really scary because now you've got, Cam Ward, who a lot of people are considering to be a Heisman candidate. He's on a ton of awards lists. You've got, Damian Martinez, who's considered a top 5 running back in the country. You've got, wide receivers. You got Xavier Restrepo, who's a second team All-American already. Okay, preseason All-American. It's Xavier Restrepo. You've got Sam Brown, who knows this offense, who's probably your best wide receiver. But you've got a Xavier Horton, Zay, who's who potentially could have the best numbers. I mean, you've got talent all across the board there. You've got top 5 offensive line in the country. I saw the ratings today by, I don't remember if it was On 3 or 247. It was someone. All this stuff has to translate to wins and to victories and to success. And so we can't keep thinking, well, he's doing all of this, we're still going to figure out a way to screw it up. At some point, you got to say, he's doing all of this, and we've got this type of program. We've got these type of players on this team. Yeah, we're going to win. You got to have that type of mentality, because at the end of the day, I mean, if you don't think that way, then you know what is going to happen. Let's say, God forbid, he does go against 7-5 or something like that. The days of having those top 5 recruiting programs are not going to be anymore. And it's not because of him. It's because, it is because of him. But it's because you're not winning. You have to win. And I think this is the year that they're set up perfectly to win. Blue, you got anything to add to that?
No, you said it all.
Do you think 9-3 is a disappointment this year?
No.
Why not?
Because of the games that they're going to lose, at Florida.
I'm sorry, but there's no universe, Blue, unless we lose that game. That's not disappointing. Because Florida, look, even if they're good with that schedule, they're going to win 5 games best. So you're talking about losing to a non-bowl team, and if they're as bad as they've looked the last few years, 3 or 4 wins, one of those being Miami, that's not a good look. So I think it's how you land at those 9 wins too that matters. So losing to Florida is going to lead to a very rough month, because no one's going to care about FAMU or Ball State or USF at that point.
It could, but is it the be all end all, right, Blue? I think that they can still recover from that, you're saying, and have a 9-3 season that's respectable and potentially even be an ACC championship.
Yeah, actually, Blue's version of 9-3 might land us in the ACC championship game. So, but anyway, do you want to get the CEO's take on this?
Is El Padrino on?
El Padrino is backstage,
All right, let's.
and he's rocking our old sponsor, Black Hole Rum.
Oh,
Look at that.
how are you?
Hey, Ethan, how you doing?
Look at that.
You get that in West Palm. El Padrino, is that what I got?
Yeah.
You're the Godfather. You're the Godfather.
The Godfather. I don't know about that.
I
I think the Godfather is in the middle of the screen here. Hey, Larry, how are you?
That's
Good.
definitely true.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Right now, they're not all happy with me, Ethan. So
No,
I heard it. I
You
heard
did
you have
demoted, Ethan.
Actually,
you have
here,
you're
let me,
losing to Florida.
Yeah.
that's the one that did me in. But here's the wow, we're really gritting on the right side here. So this is what we got, Ethan.
Yep. You want me to pencil it in? I can do it for you.
Yeah.
Ready?
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. So
Sorry.
okay, before we even
Sorry.
get there, get there, right? You know, obviously you've been kind of following what's been going on as well. You know, there's a lot of so-called experts out there that don't know what they're talking about, but they are saying that we're going to be pretty good this year. So I'm gonna trust what they're saying this time around.
Yes.
But we've got a lot of hype around this team. At some point, we were just talking about this. At some point, this hype, this Kool-Aid that we're drinking to a certain degree, has to come to fruition. Like it has to happen, right? Like this hype is for a certain reason. Mario's all in with this team. He's got some of the best players at every position in the country. So it's got to translate to some success. Now, whether it's 9-3 is successful, 11-1 is successful, 12-0 ACC championship game, who knows? To you, what do you see being a success for Miami this year? Whether it's record-wise, production, where they get to, so on and so forth.
I mean, if the coach can manage the game, that's a success. I'll start there. Because I think that I too soon. I think that's the single biggest issue here. But I sort of agree with what I heard coming in here. I don't know who responded. The first thing you want to pencil me in for the first game, L?
Yeah. Oh,
from an L there. There you go.
Oh.
Already starting
I
throw you off. I think you're the one person I can't threaten to boot out of the stream, so I'll just let it run.
No, that's true. You could, but I might find.
I mean, I'm not doing that. I could read an org chart. So
I'll just start with this. And again, it's different team, different coach, and in this case, and all this. When's the last time they had a highly anticipated game that they lived up to the expectations for, particularly early out of the gate?
Notre Dame, 2017.
Okay. I was in my mid-40s at that point.
Years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't – I don't know. I just don't buy it early in the season. I think this is actually going to be a team that gets better as the year goes on. But I do think that if it ends up being 9-3, but it includes a loss to Florida, the way it's going to have to be spun is that improvement overall, basically, and that they close strong for a change. I think I have them at 9-3. That's where I've got them.
So where are your losses?
Who do you have a loss? The losses I have, I think there'll be a random loss in there, that one we're not expecting. So let me take, and this sounds crazy. Let me take Georgia Tech on that one.
Okay.
There'll be a random loss
hopefully
there.
It's not another Neil situation, is it? We actually just lose.
I know. Well, I know, but you could have a repeat of it. No, I don't think you will.
You'll be able to ball this time.
I'll take. I think they beat FSU, so I'll take the other loss. I'm going to go with the other loss against Louisville.
I am an island over there, huh?
Yeah, you are.
That was the loss I had, but I refused to group think. So
far, you do have Mel coming up in a little bit. So
wait, I didn't even notice that, Vish. Like, does the L key not work for you? I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm filling in the whole form, but it's not. Actually, in my head, I had that Louisville game as the loss, and then this happened. They all three picked in front of me. I was like, I can't do a unanimous loss here. And now you come in.
Well, you kind of mentioned it though. Like, so we got obviously if they go 12-0, I mean, first thing, pigs are flying, but also everybody's gonna be happy. So we'll just take that off the list here. But if we look at like Danny's and mine, so we got, and Jazz got the one loss season. We got Danny, me, and Blue. Which of those three patterns will people be angriest about? I never say happiest about because they're Canes fans. What will they be angriest about if it goes the way that Danny has it?
The DJ one.
Blue has it the way I have it.
100%
They'll probably be most angry at you for having Georgia Tech.
See, probably.
No, I actually think DJ's is the one.
I think DJ's because you can't use FSU and Virginia Tech.
Well, also that does 3 ACC losses basically means you're out. 2 ACC
Yeah.
losses. There's a possibility losing to Florida and losing 2 ACC games. You still make. If we're playing in Charlotte for the ACC championship, I think that'll dull any UF loss, but it's hard. It's impossible with DJ's picks there. So.
You wouldn't say Blues. Here's why I might say Blues, because they might be on the cusp there. If they got a 2-loss season.
Oh, that's true. We blow that.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't think that. I didn't think order operations there. That is definitely true.
Right. If they
all you gotta do. Oh my God.
All you gotta do is beat Q's. All you gotta do is beat Q's, and then you lay up.
Well, I made every media member in South Florida happy with that pick. I'm sure.
Yeah, you're definitely right. That would be 7 months of I can't believe we couldn't beat Syracuse.
Oh God, that's what that. I don't want to listen to Goldie after that. Yeah, I'll say two-loss season going into the finale. You lose to Syracuse, and where would that put you in terms of the ACC at that stage, too? Blue has the loss to Louisville, but not the other loss to UF, obviously. So.
Yeah, no, that's tough, but definitely going into that game on the Blues schedule, you'd be just winning your in.
Yeah,
I think you have to have some things happen, in order for you to get in, but you still got an opportunity because it's a 2-loss ACC as opposed to 3. So I still think there's
but there's a high probability that you lose that game, someone else gets it in front of you, and it's you couldn't beat Syracuse.
Yeah, Donovan McNabb flashback.
Okay, let's not look. So let's not do that.
I'm glad I brought the positivity to this.
Well, so let me ask you this, Ethan: is a 9-3 record this year for Miami a disappointment? Is it a bad season?
I wouldn't say bad season, but can it be not a bad season but also a disappointment? I think it can be both. I don't think 9-3 is a bad season in the modern college football landscape, honestly. Even if you're not in the best conference, but I do think it would be a disappointment in the sense that it does seem like they've geared up talent wise, to be more dynamic on both sides this year, and particularly obviously at the quarterback position. So I think it would be a bit of a disappointment because I think there's this hope, there's this fear. Okay, here we go again. We're going to get expectations and they're going to bleep the bed. But I also think there is this anticipation of some fans that, okay, this team seems to have talent at positions it hasn't had recently, right? And I just think, and particularly the work that he's done in the trenches, that it could convert to a 10-11 win season this year. So I think 9-3, not a bad season, bit of a disappointment. That's what I would say. But if it includes the loss to Florida too, I think Vish hit on this while I was waiting backstage, which is that it's going to be hard to get people to care for a little while after they lose to Florida. It's like the pin in the balloon, basically.
Yeah. People be like, oh, here we go, same old story. Who cares if we're 5-1? We lost the important game, right?
Right.
So I totally get it.
And actually, Melissa called us out in the chat. She's about to come on to do her predictions. But Texas A&M last year, if you recall, going into that game. Big early season SEC test. They were favored, beat the crap out of them. So there is priors to doing that at the beginning of the year.
Yes, there's the LSU game. Yeah, I mean, remember the LSU game. What year was that? 2000.
That was 19, I think.
That was
19,
18.
We had a damn watch party for that. We filled up GQ's Craft House, and in the raid, we stood there in the raid watching them get 3 first downs. It seemed like in the first 3 quarters.
It was not pretty. I was there.
It was not pretty. No.
So was Melissa. That was that wasn't a fun one. I gotta go look at the COVID year again because I recall we won a bunch of games at the beginning of that year, so there might have been some.
Well, let me throw this back at you guys because this is kind of the pressing question here. So, what would be considered a disappointing season for Mario in terms of the perception of him? What is the breaking point here? If they go 7-5 with that schedule, then what?
Yeah.
Well,
there is no. I'll be honest with you. There is, in my opinion, there's a very small percentage that anything could go wrong. That it could be bad enough where he gets fired. I don't think he gets fired. I think that he's said at this, look, at this point, if Mario doesn't produce a winner with what he has done, I think it's hard for the administration, the program, and for anybody to kind of come in and say, Well, if he couldn't do it with what we've done and how much money we've thrown into this, I don't know if anybody can come in here and do it, right? So that's going to be the first thought. So I don't think there's any amount of disappointment, 5-7, 6-6, whatever the case is, that's going to cause him to lose his job. But it's going to take the school's going to take a hit, right? The team is going to take a hit. The program is going to take a hit, recruiting wise, but most importantly, NIL wise. I think a lot of people are going to start. Well, they're not going to write their checks. They're not going to write checks anymore, and so that's going to be the biggest thing. How will that affect that aspect? If it affects that, then all bets are off. Like, you're screwed, right? So you have to win. You have to win. So I think that anything below 9-3, maybe 8-4, depending on the bowl game, right? Depending on how those losses look. But I think you got to go 9-3 or better and make a good bowl game or even the playoffs in order for it to be seen as a good season. If not, it's like you mentioned, it's a disappointment. That's why.
Let me bring Melissa in. So I don't think Ethan was asking if he's going to get fired, because that's not happening. However,
it's not
if
happening.
he doesn't make the ACC championship game this year, it's the beginning of the end. Because you're gonna have to reset a little bit after this year, because you're losing the quarterback, you're losing half the defense. Like, there are a lot of fifth-year seniors on this team. And this is the year that you kind of need to produce. Melissa, I know you heard the question backstage. Welcome to the other show. Thoughts on that?
I've been on the other show before.
I know. I'm just welcoming you back in.
Me and DJ talked tight ends the last time.
Oh, God. Don't get him started on that.
You did.
So is the question, what's a disappointing season?
For Mario.
We were kind of splitting it where I was.
I mean, I think the expectation by most fans is that we make the ACC championship game. And we kind of said it when I was on the show last time. You bring in all these players from the transfer portal. You got 1 year with Cam Ward. You know, on paper, it's one of the best teams in the ACC. How many times have we heard that? I think if they don't make the ACC championship, I think Mario is disappointed. And I think most of the fans, if not all of them, will be that way.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, I expect us to take a step back in 25. We're losing a lot, so this is kind of where you really need to capitalize.
It's like the basketball teams.
Let's not.
So is Melissa going to be as positive as you, Vish, on this?
I don't think so. I think I'm on an island here. I'm good with that.
Vish, did they allow a point on you? I mean, as you went through the 12 games, like how dominant were they?
No. It's
his one loss was going to be Louisville, but he can't have an L across the board.
I know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do that to the.
By the way, I'm going to disagree on the fact that I think that next year they take a step back. If they win and they make, let's say, the playoffs, or they win the ACC championship, or they go to the ACC championship, I don't think they take a step back. I think that they are okay next year again. I think they will continue to restock in the transfer portal. They've got one of the best recruiting classes in the country already coming in next year.
It doesn't matter. You have a fifth-year senior quarterback and all these fifth-year senior players. It's like Michigan this year.
Yeah.
They're not going to be terrible, but they're not going to be the number one team in the country.
You're basing it on that everybody else is going to be better, and maybe someone else. And maybe everybody else is losing a lot of players as well. So you got to think about what they bring in. You don't know what they're going to bring in next year either. It's like baseball. Like, baseball is going to suck this year because naturally they were terrible last year. But look what they did in the transfer portal. I think that it could be the same thing. I think that they could do just as good again in the transfer portal next year and be very competitive and be up there again. So, and you got to remember, right? We had this conversation, before. Is Miami going to be that team that's gonna be one and done in the transfer portal with regards to how they recruit, and then they're going to fall off, or are they going to be part of that pack of 10 or 15 teams that are constantly going to be up there recruiting nationally with their NIL money and being able to go out there and get the best players on a constant basis because they have the staff, i.e. Mario Cristobal, who's going to go out there and forget about everything else except make sure he's getting the right players here. And if you do that, then you're constantly going to have a good team. You're constantly going to be able to field a good team. Can you take a step back per se? I think yes, but at the end of the day, who's to say that there's not another fifth-year quarterback that's going to enter the transfer portal next year, or another third-year guy that's a stud that's going to move on and enter the transfer portal next year, and Miami takes him as well.
Well, Chaz, let me throw this at you because this will just be my thing, and I'll get out of the way here and allow Melissa to upset the apple cart here for Vish because I don't know that we're gonna have another undefeated on here. I at what point if these players keep coming to Miami, right, through the transfer portal, obviously through normal recruiting means, etc., whether for the NIL money or for all the other things that Miami offers. At what point, if Mario can't convert that into consistent winning when it matters, do those players stop coming?
Yeah,
This year,
right? I think
this year.
Sure. Again, as we mentioned, like if they have an 8-4 season or 7-5 season, then you're going to see that stop. But if Miami, which is exactly what I said at the beginning, if they win and they make the playoffs or they make the ACC championship game, I think that the players continue to come. If you have a terrible season, then you might see a downfall. You might see them kind of regress next year. But I think if they win,
you can only sell the future for so long.
Right. That's my point.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're like I said, if you're winning the ACC championship or you're going to the ACC championship or you're going to the playoffs, there's only 12 teams, guys, that can do that.
But if you look at the first 2 years, people looked at it as like, oh, Mario doesn't have his guys. They changed coordinators, blah, blah, blah. That's what everyone was saying. And even then there was a little bit of a bump in wins. You're going into the third year with Mario. We have the same 2 coordinators. He's got his guy at quarterback. That was the guy that everyone was saying we wanted. He got him to not go to the NFL and come to Miami. And again, arguably, we have one of the best teams on paper in the ACC. Okay. And our trenches against Florida we outmatch them on both sides of the ball in the trenches.
Right.
In theory, we should win that game.
I didn't give them a loss. Ethan did. Why are you telling me this?
Hey, I think
this is why this year is so important. This is why this year is so important because Mario has his guys now. We have consistency with both coordinators. Yeah.
He's all in.
This is why this year is important. If we don't do well this year, there's going to be a step back in recruiting and in performance on the field.
Look, I get what you're saying, Jazz. You can't just.
But 10-2 or 11-1.
The number. But if you're replacing your quarterback,
if I'm a player and you're going 10-2 or 11-1,
you're still replacing. You're replacing your quarterback. You're replacing almost the entire defensive line.
Yeah.
You're replacing your best linebacker. You're replacing the idea that you can just
Ohio State did that this year.
Yeah, but it's Ohio State.
Ohio State has more of a winning tradition in the last 20 years than we do.
It's Ohio State. No, it's Miami also.
Yeah, but Ohio State
Miami hasn't been Miami in 20 years. You can't say, oh, it's Miami.
How many more years are we going to be like, oh, no, but it's Alabama?
No, but that's
We're Miami, right?
All those programs you mentioned have had more consistency in recent memory than Miami.
Again, I'm not saying the program's going to fall off a cliff. What I'm saying is it has reached a point where it's crescendoing this year. The idea that we're going to have a quarterback drop out of the NFL draft after doing his video and come sign with us. Like, do you understand how fluky some of this lining up was? They killed the Pac-12, so we took the best running back and best quarterback out of it. Like, this is all crescendoing here. So I'm not saying we're dead next year, but you're not going to replace one for one all of that we're losing. That's just not happening.
Why not?
Sorry.
This year.
He's not saying, I
literally just explained how we fluked into it this year. Okay, they're going to
very lucky this year.
You fluked into it this year with a shitty record. What about next year when you have a good record?
We took advantage of a Pac-12 market opportunity this year.
Who cares about the Pac-12 market?
That's exactly what happened, though. That's exactly what happened.
What do you mean? You got 2 guys. You got Martinez and you got who else?
Cam Ward.
Your quarterback.
Cam Ward, right?
That's it. Just the best running back and quarterback.
I get that, but who's to say you can't do that again next year? Like you can't say that we're Miami and we can't do that every year.
I'm saying.
How are we saying that we're gonna go if we go 5-7 or 6-6? Oh, we're screwed. But if we go 11-1 or 10-2, we're screwed either way. Like the national title.
I am saying the idea that we're going to.
Are we doing the national title?
Go ahead, Melissa. Go ahead.
No,
we're doing that.
Hold on. Pause. I need Blue's opinion.
What about?
He's like, what are you talking about?
Everyone's talking over each other. Blue. After this season, do you think we have a bit of a downtrend because of everything that we're going to lose, even if we were to go 12-0?
No.
Do you think do you think we have a little bit of a downtrend with how many players we're going to lose?
No, because like Jazz said, what's going to happen is if you win, the collective is still going to pour in. The Bacardi collective, the Goya Foods collective, and they're always going to be able to get kids. They're going to be able to afford them. They have a really good recruiting class. A lot of those kids will stay. The last 2 years they've had a 5. They've got kids who are going to plug in and play. Yeah, and I understand what Vish is saying. You got arguably the 3 best guys in the portal. In a quarterback and let me tell you something. Brown's beating everybody to a pulp there right
no
now.
relation.
He's by far the best receiver right now in the summer. So you got him, you got a running back in Martinez who has plenty of ammo behind him. So yeah, I don't think listen, the only way they're going to really drop off is if they go 6-6 again.
Right.
But if they're 8-4, 9-3, or whatever, they're going to be right there. They'll be right there. It's a work in progress. And nobody, you look at first week and every other kid that makes a play is last year he played at Wisconsin or last year. So everybody's doing it. On paper, Vish is 100% right. They did land some of the best players around, but game's not played on paper. And I like I said, I know the atmosphere. I've seen it in Gainesville, and you can make one mistake and be down 14-0. And, and that is a hostile environment. And if you look back at Cam Ward, he hasn't been anywhere near this type of environment. And he's looking great in practice, and he looked great during the spring. But until he's in a game, it's we don't even know. That's why I said the first game, yeah, it's not vital, but it's going to set the tone. Because if Miami comes out there with a W, they're going to go, we're not going to play in a tougher place. There's no doubt, with more online because they'll have close to 400 recruits there. So, that's a lot of pressure, to perform. So if you come out of there with a W, you go, hey, next step FSU. And if we beat them, then nobody in the States can be able to recruit with you. So there's vital games, but I don't think they're going to drop off. I really don't. I got held today to finish.
Cam Ward has played at Washington, which is
Cam
Ward has played at Washington. He has played in very tough environments. It's
Oregon.
You're gonna compare Washington to Gainesville?
Oregon.
Our teams in the early 2000s struggled in Washington and not in Gainesville. So,
well, if we're gonna say that, he lost to Oregon, right? I know he beat Washington.
Yeah, no, he lost to Washington 24-21, but he played well in that. Again, but you're saying he hasn't. Again, that's with Washington State. Washington was in the championship game.
I get it.
He's played in tough environments. This is not going to be anything new for him.
Can I give my predictions?
Oh yeah.
We got your predictions.
Hurry up.
No, I want to see it. No, because I have thoughts on this too. Because I think that.
Okay. All right. Well, so the floor is yours. Let me bring up the
floor is yours. Did you just say the floor is yours with Ethan on?
Look, I'm cross promoting. Look, I'm sucking up. Don't call me out on it. All right. All
right, Melissa. What are we doing here?
Game 1 at Florida, I have as a loss.
I'm gonna throw you out of my house. Just kidding.
Can you move it over because I can't see the names of the teams?
Yeah. Let me do that.
Yes. FAMU, Ball State, USF all wins.
So I guess
Virginia Tech win.
Oh, okay.
Cal loss.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna be there. We all know my road record is atrocious.
I do know your road record, but that's irrelevant to this game. Anyway.
Louisville win. FSU win.
Okay.
Duke win. Georgia Tech win. Wake win. Cuse win.
So So who's going with me to Charlotte? Melissa is, Jazz is.
Right. That's how that plays out.
I originally wanted to do 9-3, but I decided I wanted to be different than everybody else. So I took off one of my losses.
I
pulled
solidarity with Louisville there.
I was gonna put Louisville as an L also, but I was like, nah, I can't have Vish being the only one, and let me have a different record than everyone else.
Well, that's good. Me, Ethan, and DJ will be at Fenway Park, so we'll see you.
That's exactly right. The 28th Pinstripe Invitational, or whatever they call it. but let me ask this question because we asked it with mine and also with Danny's and Blues earlier. So if that's what happens, 10-2, but a bad loss to Florida in the opener, Canes fans over on totality are happy, right? With the 10 wins.
But you
I mean,
remedied
that record right there puts you in the ACC championship.
Do you win the 13th game is the big question. Because if you do that, then you're different levels.
I'm gonna assume that Cal doesn't make the ACC championship, so there's a 50-50 chance you're playing FSU again. Or Clemson.
And Vish,
I don't think Clemson's gonna be
actually
accurate,
right.
honestly, but
You kind of make up for the UF loss with an FSU win in a lot of fans' minds.
But honestly, I put UF as a loss. I put it as a close loss. If that game was later in the season, I would have it as a win. I just worry because it's week 1 and it's at the Swamp. If it was home week 1, I'd probably put a win. If it was later in the season at the Swamp, I'd probably put a win. The only reason why I have it as a loss because it's week 1.
I still don't think there's a reason.
But I hope to be pleasantly surprised. I would prefer to be wrong.
What's the number on that game at this point?
I think 2, Miami 2.
Miami minus 2.5. I think I saw.
2.5.
But didn't the ESPN score predictor have UF as like a 60 something chance?
ESPN.
Because much like all of your predictions, they believe in mysticism. Well, the vibes are bad in the Swamp and this is football. We're gonna go out there and
I picked us to lose to Cal strictly because I was gonna be at that game.
We've discussed this. So when you only travel to big games on the road with this program,
I'm never going back to Chapel Hill ever again. I'm done. I'm done with Chapel Hill. It's never happening ever
So
again.
wait, has Melissa replaced me as the biggest jinx in the network?
I have one road win in 2019 against Pitt when we benched Nkosi Perry and Jaron Williams led us on a touchdown drive with KJ Osborne.
You know what? As bad as the football record is, because again, it's sporadic games and you only go if it's like you're not going to go like to a non-competitive game. What she did to the basketball program last year?
The only road game I went.
The only game we saw together that we won was Stonehill, I think.
That's true. We drove to New York for that massacre against Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
At least we got good Billy.
The problem would be if you and Ethan show up to a game together, then forget about it.
Worse.
Well,
Jazz. I was at. See, I think I'm exonerated at this point. Before I check out of here, I was at the Stanley Cup final, Game 7.
Okay.
See, I didn't go to any Stanley Cup playoff games because of how bad my records are at games.
See,
so you're welcome.
So you helped with that.
Yes.
So I was at that. I was at 2003 Yankee Stadium for the Marlins. I was at that one. I was at 2000. That was my favorite one, and I was at all 3 Heat championships. But my favorite one though was the Marlins one because I got in the elevator after the game ended. And so as soon as I got in the elevator, I was only one other person in the elevator because we'd watched everybody run the base and all that. And it was Brian Cashman. Wow. That was the only other person in the elevator, the GM of the Yankees.
Poetic justice.
He walks in, he just looks at me, he looks down. And I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "To see the boss." And that was it. He was in an elevator up to see Steinbrenner after losing 2003.
That's quite the story.
It is. So that one was a lot of fun. As
someone who was 11 years old and their mom let them stay up to watch the 97 Marlins win the World Series, I appreciate that game.
I was at that game, 97. Game 7.
There you go. See,
Edgar Renteria is my hero.
Melissa's aging all of us here.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to say first thing, you guys do a great job, and everybody should follow this entire group, not just on football, but also on basketball and baseball. When those seasons start as well. And obviously, hopefully the basketball team will give us a little bit more. So Melissa,
aren't you going to stay around for show and tell?
I don't know if I can stick around for show and tell.
We're going to do it right now.
Technology,
Vish.
Yeah.
Technology, Vish.
All right, here we go. Show and
tell.
Oh, snap. 1968.
Look at that.
Christ.
Ted Hendricks.
Right there. And look at the schedule that they played. Can you see it?
Let me see.
Northwestern, Georgia Tech, Southern Cal, LSU, Virginia Tech, Auburn, Pitt, Penn State, Alabama, Florida. Wow.
Pretty decent back then, huh?
That was like last. Should I even bother looking up what the win-loss record was after?
I was going to say we should do win-loss predictions for that.
That one.
I mean, last year he held up. What was it from the late 70s? He held something up. We looked and the Canes went 2-8.
Yeah.
but beat Florida State, so it's still a good season.
Wait,
Yeah,
add
better.
the show and tell. I'm wearing a new hoodie. I got
Oh,
this from
wow.
the team
Yeah.
store a
That's a
couple
nice
weeks
one.
ago.
Yeah. Saw some of the players wearing that today, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Well, it's cool because it's got Coral Gables written on the side of the sleeve,
Look at
Damn.
that.
which is nice.
Very
That's a
nice.
new
You know
that's
what?
a new addition Adidas
never-
is doing.
You know,
It's not
19
my own hoodie for my merch line. I'm repping like actual team merch.
You know what? 1968, 5-5, not bad.
Hey, there we with that right with that
And that era of Miami football, not bad. We'll take a 5-5 out of that one.
I don't know. Anyways, Ethan, Mel, thank you guys for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was fun. DJ,
You got buckets Wednesday, Melissa.
buckets on Wednesday.
I
Look at
think we
that.
have a guest.
Yeah.
And before I go, everybody make sure if you're watching this, like, subscribe, turn the notifications on. Okay, that's all.
They have really good Miami Heat coverage on this network, also.
That's
Yes. A side note behind our Canes coverage, of course.
We're okay.
I
Yeah,
do
don't
watch
know
the
if
Heat coverage.
I don't know if the team's gonna be okay, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's a different story.
We'll sunshine pump as much as we possibly can until Jimmy's traded. Anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate.
See you later.
Bye.
All righty.
All right, we do have buckets Wednesday. Yeah, I guess we can announce the guest. I'm assuming he's still coming. Do you want to do it?
We're like 99% sure we have a guest on Wednesday night. It's going to be the men's basketball assistant coach, Coach Kimball.
Nice.
So
Very cool.
Matt's securing that for us.
Well, I think
Also, if you watch buckets on Wednesday night, we will be promoting a discount code for 10% off my hoodie merch line. So
Wow. Look at you. I have to tune in.
If you watch the show on Wednesday,
you don't
can
have
get
to tune
10%
in,
off.
Blue. We will give you the.
You guys don't have to watch.
to tune in to get the
But
you'll get the
if I
code
could, I
without
would get
one.
you a free hoodie, but that would require me paying for it.
DJ, you need to get one up there. Your cold ass up in Boston.
I could use it. right now. It's pretty rainy, pretty gross.
Do you sell any Nebraska ones?
No, I don't think they. No, I don't. I don't think I have any right now, honestly, either. I think I just have shirts.
We need to get
Wait,
DJ
what
a
happened-
hoodie with like
What
a
happened to your
fan
Nebraska
on it.
sweatshirt?
It got like worn, and so I had to throw it away.
If we get a picture,
Do
if
we
get, like, a
shame DJ
silhouette-
into throwing out his Nebraska sweatshirt?
if
That
we
is
get a
what I wanna know.
silhouette of DJ's like bald head with the fan behind them like that, and put it on a hoodie with the silhouette.
Yes.
That would be pretty sick.
That'd be pretty
I
badass.
But, like,
love
you
it.
have to get one of each of your faces. So like DJ
Oh,
with the fan
okay.
behind him, Blue holding up some like random piece of merch,
Hell
Vish
yeah.
in his like baseball hat.
With his 17 degrees behind them.
And like those Brady Bunch squares or whatever that they had for the title theme, and we.
Oh,
like,
the Brady Bunch squares would be kind of cool too. All right, we're coming out with new merch, guys.
What was it? The four of you can get me and Matt. Have Ethan in the center.
I'm here.
That could
What-
work.
what is-
You
wait,
just
what
need
is
two more
merch thing?
people.
I'm here. Was at the gym lifting weights with. I'm back.
How's
How's
everything?
everything, guys? Fresh.
Uh,
Is
All right. Well, good luck.
good luck with all that, buddy.
We need a 5-star guard. Okay, then. Yeah.
Also, just real quickly, I don't know if you guys can read my board.
No,
It's-
again.
I know what it says. It says Matt Bridges greater than Melanie Hall, which is an inside joke.
Yeah. We
Shout
don't
out to our guy Matt on buckets.
Yeah, buckets. That is a buckets. That's buckets lore, is what that is.
All right, we're done. We're
Yeah,
done.
yeah, I think
And
that's about the time. Anyway, we do have F1 tomorrow because there's actually a race this weekend, so that's tomorrow at 9 p.m.
What
And then
about Canes on deck?
I don't think we have Canes on deck tomorrow. There's nothing going on with baseball. And then we got buckets Wednesday, 8 p.m. Hour earlier because that's when we
And
could
then
get.
next Monday it is, baby.
We preview Florida, and then and then the Monday after that we'll review the win, and I'll make fun of half this stream here. I'm gonna bring Melissa in just to make fun of her for that one.
Oh, I am off, so
I
you
know
could.
are.
I
know
will
you
be
are.
off.
I got it up here. It's every other week.
Won't she be at your watch party, Vish?
I will.
Oh
be.
yeah, but that's not publicly shaming. That's just in front of my friends and like you guys that show up. Like I need to do this online.
Blue, you should come.
Blue, you should come to the watch party.
I'm
I
gonna
sent an
try.
invite, right?
I don't have a
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
yet of us for the Wall of Fame.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get one.
Someone buy me a plane ticket, and I'll be down there.
I
Oh.
might have to Photoshop you, DJ.
All right, I'll take it.
Blue,
Or
if we
next
win,
time we play at Boston College.
if we win, we're all throwing ourselves in the pool.
I'll watch. I'll film it.
So you know, you should do it.
I'm only
That's
throwing
right.
myself in the pool for when the Canes basketball team wins the Natty. And that will be at the hotel pool.
I was about to say we're gonna be there if that's happening during the Final Four again. We gotta go.
All right, peoples.
All
We'll
right.
see you guys soon.
See you
Adios.
later.
See ya.
The 6 Rig Kane Show. Yeah. The 6 Rig Kane Show. Yeah. The 6 Rings Kane Show. You know.